chapter, book reading, is Happiness in Your Life, Book 4, Trust. Chapter 1, The Importance of Trust. The importance of trust in life and relationships cannot be understated. It is the most valuable quality for peace of mind in everyday life. Most people don't even realize just how much we all trust total strangers in the world. Every day, you go out into your car and trust that the other people in their cars will follow the rules about the white painted lines dividing lanes, red lights, meaning they're going to stop, and a general respect for the safety of themselves as well as others. Seeing a person run through a red light or cut you off is a jarring experience, met with shock and often anger. They are not supposed to do that. They could cause an accident. They almost hurt me. But then we soon go back to trusting everyone with awareness and caution always. But we don't assume everyone will be like that wayward driver. This means we don't have to be paranoid at every red light. It means we don't have to have our heart race every time we step into the car, believing there's a strong possibility that we're going to crash. If we actually do have an accident, especially a bad one, this trust can be temporarily shattered as the trauma of the pain is very fresh. But with time and more practice, we get used to the driving experience as a positive and necessary one again. Now think about the way we view trust in personal relationships and how we act, who we blame, and what we decide to do after a bad experience. If a person runs a red light and causes an accident, we do not blame ourselves for being there or for not seeing things that couldn't have been seen, their intentions or motivations for breaking that trust. Those were in their mind, not ours. But if a partner is being deceptive, having an affair, or hiding financial information, we so often blame the victim for not seeing things they couldn't have seen. And with that blame comes a motivation to correct the situation for the future by shutting off trust completely, which actually makes life much worse for everyone. Living in a world without trust is truly painful. When a person says, trust is something that must be earned, it's a big sign that this person's trust was broken one too many times and they got fed up. See, often when someone has been blindsided by a pathological liar or taken by a con, they feel hurt and stupid and vow to never trust anyone ever again. They will slam shut the castle door and say things like, "I've been burned before, never again." Well, that's not fair. Do they expect that they're the only ones who have ever been hurt in this world, and that they will also have to compete in the Trust Olympics with any new person they meet? Even in our own justice system, regardless of how many people may or may not be guilty of an actual crime that has already occurred, we go by innocent until proven guilty by a reasonable doubt. But people who go by trust has got to be earned philosophy are already convicting every single person in the world for crimes that don't even exist, and think that's a good way to go. It's not. No honest, good person with a healthy self-esteem will sign up for this. Why would they? Even if they like someone, being convicted and jailed mentally and emotionally is an unfair punishment, and it's hurtful to someone who has done nothing wrong. So the only people, then, who would go along with it are people with really low self-esteem who will resent the treatment later, or people who think lying is a fun game and will play to win, thereby ruining the person's trust even more. Having this philosophy would actually make a person more prone to attracting that which they can't stand and were trying to avoid. Without trust, stories are invented and drama flows freely. With trust, a person can take people's word at face value, not read into things negatively, and just be happier. It was not up to you to be lied to, but it is up to you to trust again. Absolutely, if a relationship has just broken down due to the abuse of trust, a trauma has occurred. A victim can't just be expected to pretend everything is okay. They will need time to process and heal those wounds and rebuild their own sense of trust. But that shouldn't be a lifetime sentence for the victim. All that would do is create in them a paranoid driver of life who thinks every person is going to cross over all the lines and run all the red lights. What a terrible way to live. And unfair to all those people who are going to continue to be good and trustworthy individuals. They don't deserve to be questioned or investigated with a skeptical eye for what someone else did. If they don't know what's really happening, they will become a victim in a different way. All that interrogating will cause them to doubt and question themselves and make them feel as though they have to walk on eggshells all the time. They deserve better treatment than that. Not trusting anyone's motives when they give gifts can also be very hurtful. Yes, some people only give because they want to have some kind of control or deceitful motive or strings attached. But if someone genuinely gives you something that took them time to make and or money and consideration, and you have that mistrust for all people, you may absolutely ruin what could have been a beautiful experience. You may be skeptical and say, "What, are you trying to get rid of it?" Or, "What's this for? Do you need something?" You can't redo memories. Once a moment of kindness is met with reactions such as these, it's ruined. The person who extended kindness to you was hurt. Their effort and consideration towards you becomes a moment of regret because it was met with mistrust. Apologies or "What, I was just asking," won't fix it. And you are teaching them not to extend kindness to you in the future unless they'd like to be hurt again. Trust is as necessary to a happy, healthy relationship as air is to the lungs. With it, a relationship can survive almost anything. Without it, almost nothing. So first things first. Can we please stop blaming the wrong people when it comes to broken trust and manipulation? Can we please stop complimenting the ones who are to blame? How many times have you heard he or she is such a good liar? Or that a spouse who has been cheated on was stupid for not knowing or seeing any signs? We are blaming the person who was honest and trusted and complimenting the person who ruined the whole thing. How about instead of calling a person a good liar, we say that they are terrible at telling the truth? Or how about instead of saying someone is a skillful and brilliant manipulator, we say that they believe they have nothing to offer, so they try and fool people into being around them instead of actually working on themselves to become a better person that people actually want to be around? Or a con artist. Artist, really? Can't even earn a decent living, so they can't even earn a decent, honest living, so they put time and effort into deceiving people and always knowing any day it could all come crashing down? What's smart about that? Where's the art or skill? It's really a waste of their time as well as the time of other people. And really, ultimately, it's a waste of life. There's nothing smart, clever, skillful, or admirable about that. And it's certainly not an art. To those people, the art of wasting your life and anyone else whose life you happen to touch isn't impressive. It doesn't make you smarter than anyone, that's for sure. To spend this one precious life of yours living a lie, what a waste. Now you are not a fool for trusting someone who lied to you. They are the fool for lying to someone who trusted them. It's the easiest thing in the world to get away with temporarily, and the hardest thing to recover from permanently. Please don't let it change you. There are already way too many of them and far too few of you. Trust has several distinct levels. Number 1, trust in yourself. Number 2, trust in other people, including individuals, close relationships, acquaintances, and strangers, as well as groups or institutions, government, corporations, and cultures. Number 3, trust in the world, a higher power or order, spiritual or non-spiritual laws or entities. In general, people have more trust on a one-on-one level than they do of groups, especially groups that they feel are different or more powerful than themselves. While it's true, a speaker or politician can connect with many people in a crowded room or even a country, it's different and less intimate connection than the one that exists between two individuals. One-on-one is the deepest connection possible outside of one's own self. Paradoxically, the connection you have with yourself largely determines the connection or trust that you are able to feel for the world. That may not seem to make sense, but it's all about the mirror. What you believe exists is what you will gravitate towards, and how you will assemble bits of information to connect the dots on how the story will make sense in your mind. Two people can view the exact same thing, but see it entirely differently. Perception and processing occur entirely in one's own mind. And that is chapter 1. Thank you so much for being here. And again, the links for the book are in the description of this video. Thank you. Bye. Hey, stop.